I unfortunately got him.
Y'all only care because it's Jaden Newman. Ask her. She unfortunately got leaked.
You want to be the... I'll let you take it away.
First female in the NBA ever.
There was a point where Julian Newman genuinely looked like he might become one of the most famous basketball players of his generation, and not because he was playing in the NBA. The dude was still a kid. Julian went viral because he was tiny, playing against people way bigger than him, and somehow still dropping ridiculous amounts of points. And these clips were perfect for early basketball YouTube. A kid barely reaching everyone else's shoulders, crossing people up, pulling from deep, and playing with absolutely zero fear. Then his dad started talking about the numbers, and they were astronomical. I mean, he was pulling 50 points, 70 points, and then eventually even reaching a 91 point game. And suddenly, Julian wasn't just another talented kid, he was being marketed like a future NBA All-Star.
Middle school competition this year, and he scored 91 points.
And you can't really tell the Newman story without talking about their dad, because Jamie Newman wasn't just standing on the sidelines while watching Julian play. He was the coach, promoter, and manager, and basically the entire marketing department for Julian. Every ridiculous game just became another piece of content, and every time he made a TV appearance, it just made Julian look bigger, and he was cashing in on this huge hype. And eventually Jaden became part of the same exact machine. They weren't just being presented like normal youth basketball players. They were a basketball family, they were a brand, and at first it worked ridiculously well. They were getting national television appearances while most kids their age were worried about homework. But there's a problem when somebody becomes famous for their potential that young. Eventually you have to turn the potential into actual results, and that's where Julian's story starts becoming awkward.
You angry? I don't know, something takes over.
You won't see me, that's so good. I'm about tired of that. You gonna see me, bro.
Because Julian definitely had skill. I mean, that's not really the argument, and some of these highlights are nasty, but his career was being presented online, made him look much further ahead than he actually was. I mean, every crazy shot he did got uploaded, every crossover became another viral clip, but basketball isn't a mixtape. You still have to play good basketball against increasingly better competition. And while other elite players his age, like LaMelo, were moving into bigger programs, college basketball, and eventually professional opportunities, Julian's career never made that same jump. The internet kept waiting for the next level, and when clips of him started reaching when he was 16, people in the crowd were calling him overrated. I mean, that actually sucks. Like, how do you peak in middle school?
You're like, not only am I NBA caliber, I'm like better than LeBron James, and I'm gonna be better than LeBron James.
I'm gonna be the best player in the NBA, not only in the NBA, but the best player in the NBA.
And this is probably where the criticism of the Newman family gets the loudest, because even when Julian's path stopped looking anything like a future NBA player's path, the confidence never changed. His dad kept talking him up. Julian kept presenting himself like the big opportunity was still right around the corner. But it contrasts with other famous young basketball players who actually moved into major college or professional systems. Julian stayed connected to small gyms, private runs, and social media basketball, which isn't a bad life, but it is a very different from what people were promised when he was 11. At some point, the question stopped being, when is Julian going to make the NBA? And became, why is everyone still pretending he's going to make the NBA?
And I think I'm gonna surprise a lot of people, bro. And everybody has their own path and their own journey. I could play 3 years of college basketball, then go play G League, sit the bench for 3-4 years, and then when I'm 30, play in the NBA. All respect to Steph, but Steph, he can't fuck me in the ones. I ain't gonna lie. Steph Curry, ain't no fucking way. No way. He can shoot that for sure. But I feel like ain't no way he can stay in front of me, bruh.
And while Julian was being sold as the future of the NBA, his little sister also was going to be in the NBA. I mean, she was talented as well. She played all the competition, she appeared on television, and she had highlights everywhere. And because the Newman name was already massive, she didn't need to build an audience from zero. She inherited one. The family even got more entertainment opportunities built around the whole basketball prodigy siblings idea. But Jaden eventually ran into the same exact problem Julian did. Being famous for being an amazing young player only works when you are an amazing player.
And you want to be the... I'll let you take it away.
First female in the NBA ever. The best player.
And eventually the basketball started becoming almost secondary. Jaden grew a huge social media following, fashion, influencer content, lifestyle posts, and after 18 she moved into paid adult content monetization as well, which is kinda weird, as even apparently her father was the one that handles her OF as well, which is kinda weird. I mean, this is your daughter, but anyways, I'm not going to get into the explicit side because it really isn't necessary. The important part of this story is what it represented. The Newman family spent years telling everybody that Jaden was heading toward elite basketball. Then suddenly, her biggest business opportunity had nothing to do with basketball. And her dad was still heavily involved in managing the business side of her career, which obviously created a whole new wave of criticism around the family.
I unfortunately got her. Unfortunately, and yeah, don't worry.
And then everything got even messier when private material connected to Jaden started circulating online, and I mean, it was completely like absolutely hell for Julian though. I mean, I remember when the leak started going on, which they got a leak recently, right? I always got this guy's lives, and every time I used to click the live, every time a person sent a rose, it just used to be Jaden Newman's like photo in the tape, and that is so sad. Like, imagine, like, bro, it's cooked. But anyways, Julian jumped directly into the middle of it, which turned something already embarrassing into another full Newman family storyline. I mean, he started posting, explaining, responding to people, and eventually made an entire video giving his side of what happened with his sister. At this point, basketball wasn't even remotely the main conversation anymore. Like, what is going on? I mean, not too long ago, these guys had a reality TV show about being the prodigy basketball siblings, and now it's just a sad tale of where they ended up. But anyways, I mean, he used to go viral for scoring 30 points and going, like, you know, and now I have to explain internet drama involving his sister, which is cool.
Let's talk about it, man. Since y'all want to be weird, all of my DMs, all of my comments, acting like y'all sisters don't be getting thrashed, like, you know what I'm saying, like they don't be getting cracked. That wasn't even her fault, bro. It's an unfortunate situation. She probably ain't gonna like me to just say this, but that's an ex-boyfriend who did that. She ain't out here laying on her back, bro. You know what I'm saying? Just anybody. I mean, I don't know if you understood how famous she was, how famous we is, or what, but y'all only care because it got the Newman name in it. That's it, bro, because it's Jaden Newman. That's the only reason why you care, bro.
And Julian's response is like, what the hell, bro? And not even that, his thumbnail has got to be one of the most outrageous stuff I've ever seen. Like, this whole family's fried, because instead of him saying that's my, you know, sister's private situation, leave her alone, he turns it into content, like the thumbnail, title, explanation video, multiple responses. And that's kind of the running theme with the Newmans. Like, nothing stays private, everything is content. Even trying to defend somebody becomes another upload. And Julian's YouTube channel at this point tells you everything. The basketball videos are still there, but they're sitting next to drama videos, reaction videos, and explanations about family situations. The basketball dream never completely disappeared, it just became one content category among everything else. And despite all of this, the image being presented online was still everything is going great. Money, cars, followers, businesses, success. The family has spent more than a decade selling the idea that Julian and Jaden were exceptional. At first the proof was basketball, now the proof was OF content. And to be fair, they probably did build huge audiences and probably got like a large piece of the capitalistic pie. They got opportunities most people never get, but that isn't the same thing as fulfilling basketball promises that made them famous in the first place. I mean, Julian wasn't an NBA star. Jaden wasn't known primarily as an elite basketball player anymore. They became influencers. I mean, which isn't it for failure, but like, your entire brand was like, you know, you telling yourself that you're going to be like an NBA star. Even Jaden said she was going to be an NBA star, and it's just like, now it's just completely grim now what happened to them.
My favorite part of the house, as you can see, is always the backyard. When we have our mansions and we do the Newman lifestyle mansions, first thing I choose is the backyard.
And this is where like everything just becomes even weirder, because they recently went on the Jumper podcast, and you know, the one with Adam 22, the cock, so you know, perfect podcast to go to. And like, they were discussing the Newman family dynamic and Jaden's career choices and the role her family played in managing her public image. And this is where the whole story starts looking less like two kids failed at basketball and more like two kids who became businesses way too early. Julian was famous before he really understood what fame meant, and Jaden was famous before she knew what fame meant. Their dad built the entire family around that attention. His dad even monetized his daughter's OF content and probably encouraged her to go through it, as you know, Julian encouraged his own sister to do it. So I mean, probably his dad did as well. And now they're adults still dealing with the identity that was created for them as children. That's why I don't think either sibling simply woke up one morning and randomly became like this. They just ended up like what the internet wanted them to end up like.
I'm trying to get her, like, it sounds crazy. It sounds crazy. Oh, take it the wrong way. When she was 18, I tried to get her not the nasty shit. Not the bullshit y'all got going.
Not the bullshit, just like regular shit.
I ain't gonna lie, bro. Instagram photos, the same photos you, because it's the personal messages, it's the idea.
And it's the name of it. People think like, oh, she made you know what I mean? There's gonna be whatever.
But the funniest part of all of this is Julian still sounds completely convinced that the story isn't finished. Years after high school, years after the original viral hype, and years after the college path everybody expected never materialized, he still talks like the NBA dream is alive. And honestly, I mean, you can respect the confidence. I mean, most people would have deleted every basketball account and disappeared by now. But Julian is still outside talking like one phone call could change everything tomorrow. He's even saying he's got Stephen Curry on lock. And I mean, but eventually confidence becomes delusion if the results never catch up. And that's really the downfall of, like, you know, I'm talking about right now. Not that Julian and Jaden became broke or vanished. They didn't. It's that the world was promised two basketball superstars and ended up getting two internet personalities who's getting talked about for the wrong reasons. Anyways, guys, I love you all. Subscribe more.
I see some clap boy Max running his little diva mouth. Boy, worry about me. Get off my bike, boy. Just because you looked up to me in high school, you wanted to beat me, and you was sorry at basketball, don't mean anytime you get a chance, let's hate on Julian. You know what I'm saying? You talking about, oh, that's a weird thing to say as a brother when your sister got leaked. Man, shut your ass up, bro. You's a clown, bro.